We need to up our game and shit. We need to do comedy butt naked, right?
Saying his goodbyes. He blew his eye socket off and his eyeball fell out.
White women keep kidnapping us. Y'all seen The Blind Side?
Aren't you glad we have that disclaimer at the beginning of the episode?
It's going to come in handy for this episode. This week's episode is brought to you by Big Boy Raps. Mention the Voice Party and get $200 off your first graphic rap or color change. Big Boy Raps, where the big boys play.
All right. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Voice Party podcast. That's right. You got to get a shot of the sign now.
I'm mad because 2 years later, I just noticed I put welcome to the Voice Party.
Oh, shit. Yeah.
You just saw it, too. Welcome to the Voice Party podcast.
I'm going to have to fix that.
Wow.
I am your guest co-host, Jesus Cruz, and I'm here.
The camera's right there.
I know, that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay, my bad.
And I got Phil Spruner on the ones and twos and the twos and ones.
What's cracking, crackers?
He stands for the flag, kneels for the cross, and sits on Jesus' lap.
I actually got this shirt at the Republican booth.
By Jesus,
I figured.
By Jesus, he means Jesus Cruz.
Yeah, no, you ain't sitting on my lap, dog. And then we got the host with the most, the creator, JD Arandia.
What's up, baby? How you doing today? Thank you for
So
stepping in.
did I say that right, or did I say like Corday says it?
Corday, I give up on how he says it. I don't even know how he says it, to be honest. But he does roll his R's now. And
He
that's all that's
concentrates
important.
on that.
Yeah, it's Arandia.
But you don't really roll your R's on that, though.
Not
He
really.
goes, Arandia.
But he does it to make me happy.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it because effort is missing in the world right now.
Yeah, there's definitely no effort right now.
We have an extra the because we want to make sure we have enough letters in case somebody blocks one of them, you know?
So let me ask you this. I've always wondered, for both of you, does being able to roll your R's make it easier to please women?
Yes.
I don't know if that, I think if I was in shape.
But you're saying words to them while you're doing it. Perro, carro. So
Maybe I'm thinking I'm having cardiac arrest right now.
So it's sexy, but it's not, Perro.
Why do you ask? Are you curious
No, it's just,
what
I
it feels
can't
like?
do that. I can't roll my R's.
You can't roll your R's? Try it right now. I'm going to give you a word and you're going to have to roll the R.
Your wife is not happy is what you're saying.
Roll the R in Voice
I wouldn't
Party.
recommend marriage, all right?
I wouldn't recommend marriage with you.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a very difficult person to be in a relationship with.
Or in a podcast, or in a friendship, or in a space of work. Yeah, sure.
I'm detecting some animosity, Jadles. Do we need a sidebar? Do we need to bring it to the red table?
All right.
Are you going to kick him out of the...
No, he's the last one. It might just... It's either going to be me or him left. And then
It's going to be JD with a cell phone, just holding it out because he didn't even buy a tripod.
Or it's going to be you as a host and him as the main.
Oh, man. We already did a wrestling talk. That's what all our shows will be about, wrestling.
You know what? I'm not going to lie. It does sometimes, like this weekend, the Voice Party. I appreciate you coming. Because it did feel like this is the last day before the CEO announces that we're bankrupt.
All the co-hosts are gone. Guests are canceling.
It's just like we're falling apart, man.
It's a sign of the times.
It's a sign of the times. Should we call it quits? People ask that.
So
who are asking that?
I don't know.
Who's asking that?
No one's asking.
Is there a poll? Can we do a poll?
We could. We stop?
Is it really that hard to produce this show?
It's not. What was your question? Sorry, was there? Don't get married. Sorry,
I was talking about cunnilingus, but go ahead.
Oh, that's are you ever worried about that?
About not pleasing a woman?
No, that you can get cancer from
what?
Oral sex. Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Cunnilingus.
I don't give a fuck.
You don't give a fuck?
No. Just,
okay. Well,
it'll be worth it.
Yeah, if you're gonna go out anyway, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
There are definitely worse ways to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, like not getting head.
Is that really a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You didn't know that?
No, where did you see that?
Okay, all right. I heard about it from Damian Montes.
Oh, shit.
But it's true. What's his name?
If it's from Damian Montes.
Don't you fucking dare roast my friend, all right? No.
You don't have a sound effect for Damien?
No, no.
100%.
Was that actor name Michael Douglas?
Right.
He had that.
Okay.
Yeah, he had that, and it's actually like a popular thing right now where like that's a thing you get from.
That's the only time I've ever heard of it.
Really?
Yeah, and Michael Douglas is not that relevant anymore. So
Yeah, I mean he was an Ant-Man.
good, man.
He was an Ant-Man.
If you said Channing Tatum, then I'd be like, oh shit, I'm gonna be worried.
Yeah, but I mean since it is Michael Douglas, it gets you at the end of your life.
Right.
Not right now. Well, I mean, how old are you? How much older is Michael Douglas from you?
Oh, probably hella. What about Kirk Douglas?
Oh, yeah, that
Fool
guy
still alive?
was dead.
Is he dead?
Died. Yeah, yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. So going back to rolling my R's, I don't think that really. I mean, I think that's just like a something. I don't think that helps. It's not like I'm saying down there, unless you do. I don't know.
No, you don't really do.
Right? Yeah.
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 But it's fun to say. Phil thinks it's true.
You know what, Phil? It sounds like someone that's never done oral sex to a woman. That's something you would ask someone that has. I'm sorry to
Us rolling R's is like white people saying the H and whip. Whip.
whip.
Whip.
Is that really white people?
Yeah. What?
Do you say that, Phil?
Who?
No, I don't say that.
What?
Who does that?
You know what? I always have a hard time figuring out what's your accent from. You have an accent to you. And I don't know if you'd
It's a
realize
little
that.
East Coasty.
It's like East Coasty and South a little bit, maybe.
Here's the thing. I used to date this chick who lived in Las Vegas, right?
Okay.
And like the first time we like met in person, we were talking at one point. She was like, "Oh, you have an accent," and I'm like, "Girl, what you talking about? I ain't got no accent, because this is just how I talk."
Yeah.
But that's not even like it's okay, where'd you live most of your life?
I was born in Oakland. I was raised in Richmond.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty gangster.
So where's that from though?
I don't know.
I'm like, I can't figure out where that's from. People have asked
I just like
me.
the beginning of the episode where you said, "Big boy raps. Where do big boys play?"
Where the big boys play. Yeah. Like you like speak with the tip of your tongue touching and biting your teeth. Is that what you do?
Oh.
I don't know. I think
So you
'cause
can satisfy one.
I have. I have another friend, and we both have like similar like speaking cadences and stuff.
You talking about Rigo?
No, it's my other friend.
Okay,
who
Rigo and
who
you have
haven't
the
met.
same thing too.
But in high school, we figured out that like it must just be like an amalgamation of all these things we
Whoa,
like.
what's that word?
Oh yeah.
So it's probably
Scary.
like a little bit of Cartman, a little bit of Bart Simpson, a little bit of Gilbert Gottfried, just all these weird pop culture things that just like
Is it like
mush together in
people
our
had the
head.
transatlantic?
Because you also speak louder. I don't know if that's something that's a nasal thing or something.
Oh, I think we talked about. I don't know if we talked about this on the show or if it was like in the group chat or the meeting or whatever. Like, because Corday does the same thing where like a lot of times we'll be talking and then people will like cut us off or interrupt us or start talking over us.
Oh, yeah.
So we both just start talking louder and faster. So
It
we can
changes-
actually, so we can actually get our point across and,
and
finish
change
our thoughts.
the subject. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Look, there's a reason we got rid of Marcos. Okay.
Oh yeah, we fucking hated that guy, dude.
100%.
No. People are gonna think that we don't like him anymore because of this.
People thought that about Gasper.
That's true.
Because we
yeah.
did that whole episode eulogizing Gasper,
Yeah.
which started out as, oh man, you know what I'm going to miss about Gasper? And ended up with, and another thing I'm not going to miss about Gasper.
Yeah, at one point you guys had like 14 motherfuckers up in here.
Now you're like the 20th. Yesterday we had Chris Posada, or 2 months ago we had Chris Posadas, and today and this all.
It's like the open when you used to have people's like names and pictures like dang, 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 dang. That was like a 5-minute intro. Dang, 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 all these people.
It's a long list, man. Like it's weird because I kind of got used to the last 2 guys. I forget their names, but it always feels like it's always gonna be changing because. I mean, you know, I try not to get upset or anything about it because, you know, people get sick. Fine. That's understandable. And also name a project you started and it stayed the same people forever.
Well,
Yeah.
that does stuff as often. Probably, yeah.
You started off as the Rockers. Now you're just Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I know, right?
And then eventually DX. And
I was
then
going to say,
back
at
Shawn
least you're not
Michaels.
Marty Jannetty.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Speaking of wrestling,
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of old wrestling videos lately.
Yeah.
I don't know how the fuck I ended up here. I know about Edge's move to AEW now. And I'm like, I never was like. I mean, I was a wrestling fan back then. Now I'm like deep invested.
Yeah, and I'm not at all.
Really?
I have no idea what's going on now. Like I knew Edge was back in AEW, but I went to an AEW show with buddies of mine just to go and hang out. But I literally, like every other person that came out, I'm like, who's that?
Really?
Who is that?
You don't know
Who is that?
who's hot right now?
No. I mean, I do as far as like clips that show up online, but
I got into it because the algorithm showed me that like AEW shows got like no people coming to them. Have you seen?
So
okay,
I've seen.
Is that like propaganda from WWE?
Well, okay. No. I'll say this. I'm kind of like with you. I don't watch a lot of modern wrestling. I have a casual thing. I keep up with some stuff here and there, but I'm not like watching Dynamite every week. I'm not watching Raw every week.
Right.
When I was in high school, I watched fucking everything. I watched TNA. I watched Ring of Honor. I watched WWE.
Right.
I'd watch stuff from Japan and Mexico. Also, because I had my own backyard wrestling thing, and I wanted to absorb as much wrestling as I could,
Right.
so I could appropriate all their ideas and make it my own and whatnot. But now I just kind of fell off from there. With the AEW thing, we don't know for sure what the general consensus is. When they booked all these shows, CM Punk was on the roster. He's a major draw.
Is he really?
Here's how big of a draw he was. He's no longer in the company. He's still their top merchandise seller.
Wow.
And so now that he's gone, they booked all these big buildings, but now since he's gone, attendance has dropped. So
That's why they brought in Edge.
they're gonna probably start running smaller buildings at some point since they don't have the drawing power of him anymore.
right.
He was that big of a star?
He's still their biggest merchandise seller, even though he's not with the company anymore.
So they're gonna come to Richmond High School sometime.
Yeah. The Richmond Auditorium.
The Richmond,
which might be big for them.
I don't
Might be
even.
big for
Yeah,
them.
they just did a lucha show there. My buddies were in, and they packed it.
They did?
Yeah, they packed it.
All the way?
They packed the bottom level, and I saw a couple of folks.
What's the I don't know how what's the biggest lucha show you ever produced?
That I ever produced,
Yeah.
as far as draw wise,
Yeah.
not that much, like 500 maybe.
Like some places size?
Yeah, like a gym, like
Bigger?
a high school gym. No, it's about
Do
the size.
you have to sign like a waiver for the wrestlers? Like if you get hurt on my show, you can't sue me?
Listen, let's talk about something else. I mean,
Never mind.
I mean, you not necessarily.
Is that a thing? I mean, not speaking your personal
Right.
but
No,
like,
anybody that gets into wrestling kind of knows the risks and
Okay.
what they're going to be. Now, building by building, they'll have different rules. You have to have insurance up front for if you want to be a legit company in a
like a
legit
wrestling
venue.
promotion.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you're doing it at a gym or someone's whatever, the places are a little bit more lenient than others. I've produced a show at a gym where they did ask for waivers to be signed, and no one had a problem with it. They're like, "Oh, here you go. You need to sign this waiver."
That's the biggest thing that we had that lucha show in Richmond that they produced recently, and that's the first thing that thought in my mind, like when producing any, like, I mean, fuck, going from comedy to music was such a big deal,
Right.
And then I just think like all the things that can go wrong with like the people. Apparently, the people that built the stage were totally separate from the people that were brought in the wrestlers. So, like, what if these fools fuck up with the ring and then is that?
Like I said, going into it, people know what. As a
It's a risk,
performer,
yeah.
they already know the risks they're taking off the bat. I haven't been in a position where someone has tried to sue me or any event that I know of if a wrestler got hurt in the ring or outside. Yeah, I know, right?
It's not even wood. But
So it's
whatever.
not because everyone knows. I've had people get hurt in training, and
So you actually you used to train people.
I did not train people. I used to be part of training.
got it,
Yeah,
okay.
I never like finished or anything like that. I would just, since I was the one that opened the gym for these guys and girls, I'd just get in there because I'm there. I'm like, oh, you might as well get a workout out of it, or learn how to bump, or learn this and that. But as far as like actually getting trained and performing, no. I did backyard wrestling like Phil. No one trained us or anything. We just went out there.
Broke his fucking neck from that, dude. How you feeling, Phil? Does your neck still bother you today? Like, I know we talked about
Every
it
day.
since the last time we talked
Every
about it.
day.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
Is it worth it?
I'll wake up, I'll crack my neck, it'll sound like a deck of cards shuffling.
Oh, fuck. Do you have anything like that? Any fun like that happening?
I messed up my knees, and this wasn't during backyard wrestling. This was during lucha libre training, because we used to train at this boxing ring in Salinas, and wrestling rings have a little bit more spring. They're not like really soft or anything like that, but there's a little bit of an impulse that you get when you jump on a wrestling ring versus a boxing ring that has absolutely no give. It's hella harder.
Yeah.
I did a corner drop kick on somebody. So basically, you whip a guy in the corner, you run, and you're supposed to kick as high as you can. But I didn't have enough room between me and the person, so I had to like kind of shrink my legs a little bit. So I landed on my knee, and that bothered me for years. And then I did a thing called a monkey flip over somebody, and I overextended it, and I hyperextended my left knee. So I had both knees that hurt for a while that were giving problems. I'm fine now, but it wasn't nothing major or anything like that.
Do you think you would have do you ever think back like I wish I could have been a wrestler?
Yes and no. I mean, when you watch it when you're younger, yeah, and that's why we did backyard wrestling, and then working in wrestling backstage, you get to see like the bullshit and the politics and the way
corruption.
The carny-isms that go behind the scene, how much they try to take money from the student, and a lot of bullshit. Like, you really have to be dedicated to and being willing to deal with a lot. The business has changed, in my opinion, from what I can see from schools nowadays, than from back in the late 90s to early 2000s. I don't know, man.
Do you think it's changed for the better?
As far as the way you're treated, yes. As far as because back then it was more old school. It was like, and I'm talking about guys in the 60s, 70s that didn't want to train people. It's like, no, you're gonna get in there, we're gonna beat the shit out of you until you quit. And it was until you saw people keep coming in. So it was always like big burly fucking dudes, big lumberjack types, and now in wrestling, it seems like everyone can do it now. Like,
there's a lot smaller guys.
Which is fine.
They're not all fucking jacked up on juice. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like now wrestling's it's a thing that everyone can do. It's not like you don't have to be jacked anymore. You don't have to be in shape anymore. Especially the indies. Like, dude, you see people that are so out of shape and so like not prepared, but they're on a show.
But there's also like a lot more craziness in the indies that like could get people.
I was gonna say, and I think you and me might be on a similar page with this. Like, the style of wrestling has changed a lot. Like, you look at like the Attitude Era, and you'd have something like the TLC matches, and it'd be the craziest match you've ever seen. And now it seems like every single match tries to do that.
Right.
And I do still love wrestling, but there's a lot of wrestling that's just kind of cringy for me to watch now, because when I was getting into wrestling, even though we all knew it was fake, they still wrestled like they were trying to make it real. Like, you could believe this is a real match going on.
Right.
And now it's just flippy dippy stuff with no psychology.
Right.
People will get hit with stuff, immediately get back up. You'll see people sitting there waiting to catch the dude as he does the punch. Like, they don't try to make it look real anymore. Right. And that, I hate that.
And it's funny because I grew up watching lucha libre, which a lot of it is considered that doesn't have a lot of psychology and people flips, all that stuff. But even that has its pace. And then the indie scene started emulating lucha libre with American, with Japanese. But I'll give you an example. There was a promotion called I don't know if they're still around, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. Are they still?
They are. They haven't done a show in a while. The owner tweeted out that there's like a medical thing going on with his wife, and so he hasn't been promoting shows, but they're still around.
So yeah, so it's an indie company that started when it was mid 2000s, early 2000s, something like that. Great shows, like they put on some great shows, but the damn shows took forever, man. I was like, we were there for 3 fucking hours, and I'm like, dude, I want to go home. Like, okay, Christopher Daniels is wrestling AJ Styles, this is great, but it's a fucking hour match, Iron Man match, and then that's not even the main event. Like, now you got this guy, and now this guy is doing some fucking Canadian destroyers and all this and that, and
oh my god! So Do you know what the Canadian Destroyer is?
No.
It's a flipping pile driver. So like the dude will grab you like he's going to give you a pile driver, and then he'll do a front flip, and the dude taking the move will do a back flip, and it's a flipping pile. It used to be the dopest fucking move in like 2004, 2005 when Petey Williams first started doing it. It was the most amazing thing you'd ever seen. And now it seems like everybody does it in every fucking match, and it doesn't mean anything. Same thing with like dives. Like I'll be watching Raw or whatever. Every fucking match has a dive to the outside, and it's like it doesn't. Like the more you do something, the less it means. Like nothing means anything anymore.
Yeah, there's too much of a lot going on. Even watching WWE here and there, or even AEW, just even getting in the ring, everyone has to have their own little thing that they do in the ropes or on the side before they even get in. Like no one actually gets in the goddamn ring like anymore. Like just walk in there. Everyone has to do a little flip or a little twirl or a little thing. I don't know. It's just, to me, it changed a lot. I sound like a bitter, like older fan and stuff, but there's still stuff that I watch. I still go to indie shows around here, and there's certain wrestlers that I do enjoy still.
Speaking of indie wrestlers around here, I want to ask you, because I think it's funny. I don't know if we ever did talk about this, because we've had you back. The first time you came, I don't think we ever had a wrestling episode with you, right?
I think
we did.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we talked about this, because I think you told me this off camera. Because one of my favorite, I mean, I did watch WWF as a kid, but I kind of fell off as an adult, and I always liked watching. You know, it's fun. Like the other day, I what was it, like 6 months ago almost? Watched my first ever live lucha show. I never seen it live. Never got to see WWF live, and it was fun. I was like, oh, I was into it. And but anyways, long story short, one of my favorite films is Beyond the Mat. Yeah, and like I didn't know shit about that part. Like I didn't really, not that I didn't know, I just didn't care to know, you know. Right. And in that episode, in that movie, there's a guy that was named Gabriel. What was that guy's name?
Roland Alexander.
Roland Alexander. That was your friend.
He's someone I knew. Yeah, he's someone I worked for a year.
The reason I ask is because I was watching an interview with Jake the Snake, and he didn't like how the guy portrayed him in that film. And you also said that Roland
didn't like the way he was portrayed.
What do you think? Like what was it that they got wrong? Or
I don't think they got anything wrong.
Oh no?
No, I mean that's the way he was. Like,
that's just wrestling.
I've talked to one of the other stars from it, Michael Modest. We're really good friends with him.
You guys shot something together.
We did a documentary on him, and we're working right now on him on another podcast that's coming out soon. But yeah, he'll tell you like, no, that's exactly how he was, man. Like that was the truth, you know. He wouldn't pay people, and you know, a lot of it's paying your dues, but it's like, okay, how long are you going to pay your dues, and are you really just trying to teach people to pay their dues because of business, or is it because you're taking money?
Taking money, yeah.
So of course it was 100% about the money. I mean, if you're running a school like that, that was his sole.
It's like in comedy, only doing bringer shows.
Right. Yeah. That's like you're doing. If that's your sole. Business, that's the sole way that you're making money, then yeah, of course you're going to try to.
Will you get heat now for saying that's exactly how?
No, hell no. I mean, Beyond the Mat said it. So after Beyond the Mat, it kind of opened the doors to like expose of wrestling.
Because that was the first breaking kayfabe thing, right? More than Wrestling with Shadows or In Shadows.
No, there was another one called Wrestling Exposed or Pro Wrestling Secrets Exposed.
Yeah, they had one in the 90s where it was like pro wrestling's biggest secrets revealed, and they kind of explained like it was really hokey. It was like, do you remember The Masked Magician? It kind of had like that similar vibe to it,
where he told how the tricks are done.
But even in like, I want to say it was like the 80s, they like news outlets were doing like expose on pro wrestling.
Yeah. They like had interviews, but they used to do interviews.
Like I just remember his name. They did a thing with Eddie Mansfield where he showed like, you know, how wrestlers blade themselves and whatnot.
Yeah, but as far as like big exposure, like Secrets of Pro Wrestling Exposed, which Michael Modest was also a part of under a mask. That was also another. I don't know if he got blacklisted from it, but because Beyond the Mat, that's what it was too. It was an expose on wrestling and how shit went down. So after that, it's like kayfabe is dead. Like no one like.
But is it even needed? Like people still like it. People still.
100%.
Here's what I'd say. I always hate when people are like, oh, you like wrestling? That's fake, right? I'm like, movies are fake, right? It's like, yeah, I get Santa Claus isn't real. I still want the mall Santa to give a shit, though.
I do see. Okay, when that's like an argument, like you like movies, and I do like it. So I'm not saying I can see why somebody wouldn't like it, because it's a difference between like a championship game for Warriors versus whatever, and it's like the last game of the series and it's a championship and the level of excitement. In wrestling, the fans are in on it though. That's the difference.
Right.
They know most likely they're gonna drop the belt to blah blah blah. But I think when people say that, they're like, it's a predetermined thing, and it's like I'm not gonna yell and
but to me that's like going up to people in line at the mall and be like, that's not really Santa, right? Santa's fake, right? It's like,
yeah, I hear you. Yeah, you're right.
And there's definitely still an entertainment factor. otherwise they wouldn't be drawing, like WWE wouldn't be drawing what it draws, or
hundreds of thousands of people.
Or how many people have had a career in movies after that. Like it's a big part of pop culture.
All right, let me ask you this, Jesus. What's the jankiest indie show you've ever been to?
Oh shit.
The jankiest one, it was definitely a lucha one. Actually, here in Richmond.
Really?
This was years ago. It's just very not well put together. And so after we started the scene, because we did start the scene. I've always been very modest about this statement, but no, we did start the lucha scene here.
Lucha Libre with Mexican flips
in the Bay Area. Well, the style has been on forever, but as far as a training school and wrestlers that came out of the school, we were the first ones to do it. And then after that, people offshot and did their own things because I think they could do better. But what happens is that they don't have any sense of putting on a quality product. So they'll bring in guys that don't train. Yeah. They don't have
fat wrestlers that are out of shape.
Yeah, or don't have proper ring gear. Like they'll go up in sweats and or go up drunk. There was really no seriousness to it. It was like, oh, let's just get drunk and go out.
Lawlessness.
Yeah, but what that does is that everyone's gonna go to a show like that and then think any other show that's put on is going to be like that. So there's one in Richmond. It was at a boxing gym. It was a very small boxing
I think I know
ring. I forgot the name of the spot now.
DF or Azteca?
Oh shoot, I don't remember, dude. I don't remember the actual name. But I went up to the promoter and I was like, and I was there with another wrestler. That's the only reason I went. And I told her, I'm like, hey, you guys are using a boxing ring? Oh. And she looks at it and she goes, yeah, this is a wrestling ring. What are you talking about? I'm like, well, this has 4 ropes. And she's like, oh, what about how many ropes does a wrestling ring have? So that was my first clue. Like, you don't have no idea what you're doing.
And just for people that don't know, what does that mean?
Oh, so the boxing rings have 4 ropes, and they're loose. They're not
ropes. Yeah, they're not like spring cable.
No, there's no spring cable. You definitely can't do anything off those ropes. And they're just meant there as a barrier, for the boxers to kind of
so they don't fall out if they get knocked out.
In a wrestling ring, there's ropes too, but they need to be tighter. They need to be cable, preferably cable. That way you can jump and spring and go and run and hit the ropes type deal. So that was my first clue. Like, you guys have no idea what you're doing. Oh. And sure enough, all the wrestlers were doing the same move over and over and over. So you're watching the first match, and they were doing things in the match that they did in the main event. So it's like
no one did anything different.
There's no communication, dude. There's
restricted.
Okay. Yeah. Usually with like a wrestling card, you want to kind of build. Yeah. Like you want each match to kind of be a step up from the previous one. You want it all to, gel together and each match tells a story, and then the card itself tells a story. And the main event should be the biggest spectacle of it all. And so if the opening match is like doing dives to the floor and using chairs and doing flippy dippy stuff, it's like, okay, well, what's the main event supposed to do to outdo that?
What do you mean when you say he's telling stories? Like how? Like I've always Undertaker. I saw an interview with him saying that he watches, I forgot what guy, and he loves how he tells a story on the ring. And to me, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Well, I mean, it's no different than like in a movie. Like if you watch like Rocky when he's fighting Apollo Creed at the end, that fight has a story of Rocky getting his ass beat and overcoming the odds to go toe to toe with Apollo Creed to the point where like you watch
the show the struggle.
Yeah, and like you watch the first Rocky movie and like everyone's telling him to stay down. Mick and Adrian are telling him to stay down, and he fucking has the fortitude to pull himself to his feet, and the crowd goes crazy. All he did was stand up, and it's the most exciting part of the fight. That's what wrestling is. There's a psychology where, like, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio did flippy dippy shit in their amazing match at Halloween Havoc, but they still told a story where every move they did meant something, and you were on the edge of your seat, like, what's gonna happen? Who's gonna win?
So like when the day they did that Lucha show in Richmond recently, when that girl fought against that masked guy, that like a skeleton masked guy, and then she was like struggling and he kept knocking her down, and the whole crowd was like cheering every time she did something. Was that what you're like?
Yeah, because you want to elicit emotion from the crowd. You want the crowd to give a shit who wins and who loses. You want each move to tell a story, and like, oh shit, how are they going to get up from that? Oh shit, you know what I mean?
Also good, like Modest did a good example of that. For example, Modest used to do a dragon suplex. So basically you grab a guy from the back of the neck like this, and then you bridge over, and the guy goes over.
Yeah.
So he goes to do it twice in the match. Boom, boom. Oh, no, the guy's not letting him. Boom, okay, boom. He was going to do something big to him, but the other guy didn't let him. So it must have been something that was going to mess him up. Okay, boom. Now they do other shit. Oh, shit, he's got him again. He's going to fucking do it this time. No, nothing. So until
Once he finally does it, it's a big.
Oh, the crowd fucking pops. Like, oh, shit.
Okay, got it. Yeah. That makes sense.
So like, you remember,
like, so when The Rock would finally get the guy in the position, and he'd do the, and then that's when
people's
and that's when he'd like, oh, he's finally gonna do it, and then he would get interrupted, and then he finally does it, and it's a big ass fucking
you want people to give a shit about what you're doing. Otherwise, why bother like throwing yourself at the ground if people don't give a shit? Why bother getting thrown through the flaming table if nobody gives a shit?
Yeah.
If you're going to put your body on the line, it should mean something.
Yeah. Another janky show was in San Francisco. It was this lucha promo. It's always I love Lucha Libre, bro, but a lot of, if it's not done right, it could be the jankiest thing you've ever seen. The promoter didn't have the ring on time. So the doors were opening, let's say, at 5. The ring wasn't even there. So everyone outside waited for an hour and a half. Okay, now the ring's there. Oh shit! They haven't opened the doors yet because the promoter doesn't have the money for La Parca, for one of the main eventers. Oh, they don't have his money yet.
Fuck.
So I literally saw La Parca. He's a very popular Mexican wrestler. Yeah. He went outside. He didn't even have his mask on. He had like a scarf to kind of hide his identity. And he grabbed the promoter and took him to ATM to physically get money out to pay him before he opened the doors. Like, I'm not going to wait for you to tell me you don't have the money. Because honestly, dude, for a show that big, there was only like 30 people in the crowd.
No way.
And they had the price at $20, I think, to get in. And then they jacked it up to $35, like at the door. Oh, no. Now it's $35. It's not $20 no more. So it's like, dude, this guy lost his ass. He almost got beat the fuck up because he wasn't going to have the money to put this event
for La Parca?
For anybody, any wrestler.
Yeah.
How much do you think?
That happens a lot where end of the night comes, all of a sudden that envelope with your name on it just went missing. Who knows what happened to it?
Yeah.
How much do you think you would have to pay a wrestler like La Parca, like at his level for?
I mean, I don't want to give out of like figures.
Is it in the hundreds or the thousands?
It could be thousands, especially when he came off TV.
And I'm not saying him. I'm just saying like that level.
Yeah, if a guy comes off television, they're obviously going to ask for more money because they were just on TV, on national TV.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to charge more.
Yeah. So here's the jankiest wrestling show I ever went to. I was in college, so this would have been like 2007-ish. Is in the middle of fucking nowhere. Like, we had to take a dirt road to get there. No fucking street lights. There's fucking haystacks everywhere outside the venue. Like, middle of nowhere. It's at a church of all places. Like, this church had like a gym, and so there's fucking Jesus on the cross right there above the entrance. And then on the card was Mustafa Saeed, New Jack's tag team partner.
Yeah.
And then
Big ass dude.
yeah, but then the craziest part is then like the timekeeper, like the people who ring the bell and the people who play the music are like these 3 silver-haired old white ladies with Coke bottle glasses. And so it was just a trip seeing Mustafa Saeed come out with gangster rap music playing, and there's just these 3 old white ladies sitting there, look like they might as well be crocheting. The ring broke like after the second match, so they had to go to intermission early. And then intermission was like an hour and a half while they tried to fix the ring, and they had fans try to help them fix the ring. So there was like 7 or 8 dudes from the crowds like pushing on turnbuckles, and people climbing under the ring trying to reconnect cables.
Yeah.
It was the jankiest event I've ever been to. They did a raffle, and it looks like they just raffled off stuff they found in the church's basement. There was like plastic gumball machines and picture frames and just the most random things you could find. And
How many people?
there was like 15 people there.
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, those
a
are-
wrestler that was like on TV. You've seen. What's the least amount of people you've seen someone with like actual TV credits wrestling wise on a show? Like,
On a small show?
yeah, it gotta be crazy. Like to be on TV and then go do. It's the equivalent of when I got to open for Felipe at almost 1,000 people there, and then the next day I did Copper Spoon with like 8 people.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I've seen a show with Juventud Guerrera, who was on TV. Maybe 200 people in the crowd. Vic
Really?
Rhymes.
That's not okay.
Vic Rhymes like 5 people. But it wasn't any fault of them. It's the
Promoter.
The promoter, especially a lot of promoters back then, Bay Area promoters, they wanted to go out in the cuts because they're like, oh, there's nothing going on up there.
But that's still fucking.
No. I'm talking about
Oh.
Ukiah, Angels Camp.
Oh, shit.
Like the fuck up there, man. Lodi. Places like that. I got to visit a lot of small towns and know small towns because of wrestling, because we used to do the filming
Now,
for
well,
them.
here's the thing about that is, and you know about this. When I was in high school, me and a bunch of my friends were huge pro wrestling Iron fans.
Yeah.
And I remember we went to what ended up being their last show out in Lathrop.
Yeah.
And I remember the show being awesome and having a great time and it being a lot of fun, great fucking experience. And then fast forward 20 years later, I'm hanging out at Jesus's place. We're watching the tape, and there's like 15, 20 people in the crowd.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was such a bad house at the time, but looking back, you're like, oh, fuck,
Yeah.
what the hell happened there?
Because you were excited to see.
Is
the
it
show.
this Lathrop or San Leandro one?
You know what? It might have been San Leandro.
San Leandro.
It was when they had, was it the steel cage match?
San Leandro.
Yeah, and it was like Thornstowe versus Malachi.
Yeah, that was San Leandro. Yeah, there was a big crowd, but yeah, man. I mean, it
200 people for a guy who was on TV.
yeah. When I did lucha shows, man, we packed 400, 500 people when wrestling was in a
Healthier.
no, not American wrestling. It wasn't, but lucha, since nobody was doing it consistently here, we were drawing well.
Okay.
Because
what's drawing well?
like I said,
people?
500. Let's say 500 in a gym.
Okay.
With I need to add this part, with no names, meaning
Just local guys.
just local guys. You know, and that says a lot. I'm like, the people did want to see this on a monthly basis. And then a lot of promoters that would tell me, oh, you can't do it this Sunday because SummerSlam is there. It's like, a lot of these people don't give a fuck about SummerSlam, and we proved it. Like, there's hella people here. Like, no, you don't want to book it that day because WWE has a pay-per-view. I'm like, dude, you got to understand, this is a different crowd.
Yeah.
You know, and then shit, now fucking there's lucha shows like almost every week
And they're bringing in a lot of people.
for the most part.
That's like a thing that like when you create an alternative, people come out. Like, yeah, there's Cobb's and Punchline and all these comedy clubs, but like the Don't Tell and the local bar shows still have hella people show up now.
Right.
I mean, not as much as maybe right after the pandemic, but there's gonna be people that come to your shit.
Yeah.
See,
And,
what's
and then it's all about promoting it right.
Right.
See, I was gonna say, what's crazy is when you really think about it, like the wrestling business isn't all that different from like the stand-up comedy business.
Right.
Promoter gives you your time. You know, you got 5 minutes, you got 7 minutes, you got 12 minutes. It's all about bringing in a crowd. If you can get a name, that's more people in the door. That's more ticket sales. That's more money in your pocket. You know, there's politics behind the scenes. Sometimes you get booked based off of who you know. Like, there's a lot of similarities between the two industries.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And that's what made your shit an easy transition to comedy, no? You started off wrestling first.
I started in wrestling, and then I started promoting comedy. 2008, 9, somewhere around there. Because I had Frankie Creeper, I had Pete Munoz, I had Johan, I had Butch, Chris Storin. No, I didn't know Bryant yet. Riggins, I had Riggins on. Dude, to this day, one of my favorite shows to go watch was Chris Storin's house shows. Did you ever go to those?
I know. I remember.
This was in Oakland,
Oakland, right?
Yeah, East Oakland, on top of this Mexican bar.
By his chimney, right? Like in his chimney.
Yeah, but dude, it was so. I was just talking to somebody about this, man. It was like, you know, the living room was full with like fucking pot smoke, and we were drinking and just watching everyone kill it, like Butch and Chris and all these comics, man. And that's what made me like, oh, dude, I want to put shows together, man. Yeah. So I hooked up with Microyense in Oakland.
Where you took us to eat, right?
Yeah. And then we started doing shows there, and
it was me, you, and someone else.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No. So I think they ordered like three times. Yeah.
They ordered like 8 fucking tacos and 2 burritos. Yeah.
But yeah, so we did good shows there, and then I told Chris Storin, like, hey man, I want to try it, dude. He's like, yeah, go ahead, man. Go here, go there. So, and that's when I did it in 2014.
Really? That's when you promoted your first?
No. That's when I went up. Wait, is that right? I've been 9 years. What's 23 minus 9?
9 years, so that's 2014.
Yeah.
So I just saw a Facebook memory of a show I did with Corey Robinson.
Oh yeah, Showtime. Yeah,
2014, and that was one of my first shows I got booked on. That was like a year after I started stand up.
Right.
Crazy, yeah.
But before then, were you going to shows? Were you like meeting people?
No, I kind of met the first. So I started. I went to. This is where I met Corday. I went to this Contra Costa College had a comedy show, and it was at this place called the Boiler House Restaurant. Did you ever go to the Boiler House Restaurant in Richmond? You ever heard about it?
Was that the one by the marina?
Yeah,
I think I went there.
Nice ass place.
I think I went there once with a buddy of mine to see Gasper do comedy.
Oh wow, yeah, that's where I met. So these shows, it was Johan, this other guy Jose, who I introduced to a few people. One of my friends that I went. That's the reason why I went there. And Corday was on the lineup. So Johan, Corday, and the headliner was Gasper.
Oh damn!
Yeah. He used to come out with a guitar and do funny ass jokes that I later found out they were kind of like his spin on Zach Galifianakis.
Oh yeah.
But he was funny. He was always the headliner for those shows.
Yeah.
And I got in touch with Johan and Gaspar there. We went out to eat at Nations after a show, and I just picked their brains. At that point, I was helping a friend of mine. We were doing raves.
Right.
And it just got too crazy, man. Yeah.
But you had that interest in promoting or being.
It was. So what I used to do with the raves, I used to do like, you can call them raves or just parties. I used to be on the microphone, give it up for DJ Mike, and then and then I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked the microphone thing, and that's how I kind of got into, and just hanging out with Johan and Gaspar. They're the ones that talked me into trying stand up. I don't even. Have I ever shared this story? No, I don't remember. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
And then I told Johan, if you want to produce your own show, I can help you. And then the first show we did, first show he did, he hosted. And the second show, he asked me to host. I think you're funny. I think he just said that so I would host it.
Right.
But here I am.
Yeah, dude. Like when I started promoting wrestling, like promoting, I was like 21, and I was naive. Like the reason I failed as a promoter is because I wanted to be fair. It sounds fucked up, but yeah, I wanted to pay people fairly and do things.
And you didn't make much money.
I could have made more.
You were cutthroat.
Yeah, and when a lot of other promoters that have been around longer than me weren't. Like I found out later, like I was paying this promoter because I was using his ring and his wrestlers, so there was a set price, and of course, like I said, I was young, so they were taking advantage of me, no doubt. But I'm like, okay, so here's the money for the ring plus for the wrestlers. Then I found out he wasn't even giving the wrestlers nothing.
Wow.
But these guys were just cool with me. They never said nothing. And I was like, hey, by the way, you got your pay? Oh, no, he doesn't pay us. Like, what the fuck? Like, that was part of the deal. So then I'm like, okay, I cut him off. I'll do it directly. Then we got our own ring and all this and that. But yeah, you have so and Beyond the Mat, we're talking about Beyond the Mat earlier. Roland Alexander has a quote that says you have to be a prick in this business if you want to make it. So
and then now
I guess that's why I didn't make it.
They're gonna run through you. He says that they're gonna run through you if you don't. Yeah.
And I was there when they premiered it in San Jose, and Roland was there, and the people were during Roland's parts. They were laughing out loud. They didn't know Roland was in the room. Not that they would have cared.
Yeah.
But it was surreal. Like people are laughing at this dude, and he's right there. And
was it like that scene in The Disaster Artist where Tommy Wiseau is watching the room and everybody's laughing and it's supposed to be a serious movie?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Because it makes like, I mean, so it wasn't. I always wonder why Jake the Snake didn't like how they portrayed him, but I guess
because the guy was smoking crack and said, hell yeah, it won't work if you don't pay me crack type deal. Of course.
Yeah.
But that's the rawness of the documentary. That's what Barry Blaustein, who also did Coming to America and Nutty Professor, and so I always thought that was.
That's the guy that did those movies.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he did those movies.
Damn, I didn't know that. Okay.
So it was not weird, but it's kind of cool. Like, oh, dude, he's a wrestling fan, but he did all these other movies, but he's a huge wrestling fan.
So this is what wrestling, I guess. What that movie did to me as far as like wrestling went, and especially now that I'm watching, I hella like watching stories like I listen to podcasts about wrestlers more than comedy,
right?
More than anything right now. I listen to like Stone Cold interviewing people or other podcasts where they interview wrestlers or they're like the dark side of the ring,
right?
Because I like hearing about what goes on backstage on something that I really know much about.
Right.
And one of the things that I like, and I guess it makes me appreciate it more now when I go back and watch like videos of Raw and all that shit. I thought the only time these fools perform is for the Raw show. Like that's the only time they're performing, when I see them on TV and that's it. Like, oh, that's not bad. You travel the world and then, but according to what like Undertaker, Stone Cold, all them in their podcast say, no, that's just the shit that was filmed. Like every day they're in a different city, probably doing smaller shows, house shows.
Yeah. Live. Yeah. You guys remember Maven?
Yeah.
Dude who won Tough.
Yeah,
Love?
he's got
a YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and he breaks down like how pay in WWE worked and all this stuff, and he breaks down his schedule too, where it was like you do 3 house shows, then you do a taping, then you fly home, then you're home for one day, then you got to go to the next town for the next set of tapings.
Yeah.
So like they were always on, like they were on every fucking day, and I guess some of them I know. Like we were doing small. Like when I saw the Beyond the Mat, I was like, "Why is Bret Hart doing that little show for?" Well, it looked like a small show for.
Oh, for Terry Funk.
Terry Funk,
the first time he retired.
Oh yeah. But I mean, because it's a respect thing, you know. Like okay.
But that happened, like that. The champion would go and. Wow.
I mean, shit. There was even wasn't there a show with like Benoit and Regal that was at a small place, but it was I forgot what it was for.
There was, this was like I think like 2008. But there was like one like indie show in like a high school gym, and John Cena was the referee for the main event because John Cena went to that high school and they were like raising money. And then Vince McMahon showed up too and did a run-in during the main event.
What?
Yeah.
Was that?
Yeah, you can find it. It's on YouTube. Like I think John Cena like went to this high school and they were putting on this wrestling show as like a fundraiser for like the school's athletic department, and John Cena was like, I'll show up if it'll help sell you tickets, and he like was the special guest referee for the main event, and Vince McMahon showed up unannounced and did like a run-in during the main event. I'll see if I can find it and I'll send you the link.
Do you guys going to that all these stories, I guess it makes me appreciate this more, because it is a thing that like people talk about. And it's like, oh, that corny shit. You still watch that shit? Like, it's for kids.
Right. No, but yeah, once you find out how much goes into it and how much,
pain,
what the people go through also. Right now, when you said that Stone Cold podcast, I was funny when I heard it because he interviewed Fluffy.
Oh, yeah.
Stone Cold had Fluffy in there. And I don't remember if this was the first time they ever met or whatever, but I was listening to the podcast, and the podcast starts with them laughing hysterically. It's Stone Cold's laughing, Fluffy's laughing. I forgot who was with Fluffy, but they sound faded. Like it's just like laughter, and Stone Cold's trying to catch his breath, and Stone Cold tells the people like, "Man, I fucked up, man, because I'm doing my own recording and I'm pushing all the buttons, and we're here talking to Fluffy and we're doing tequila shots and we've been talking for an hour, and I realized I didn't hit record."
Oh shit!
So they had to start everything over again. So by the time that they started, they were faded. They were hella fucking drunk because they thought they were recording this whole time.
Jeez.
But Stone Cold forgot to hit fucking record on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, because his podcast is not available on YouTube, huh?
Stone Cold's?
Yeah.
Oh, this was years ago, man. So I don't know what now he's got the Broken Skull thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he started doing like his own
WWE
podcast,
Network?
well, just on his own,
on his
and it was
own.
audio, like how we started.
Yeah.
And then he was doing two because he had like two sets of sponsorships, and so on one show he wouldn't curse, and then the other show he would curse because some sponsors were okay with it and some wasn't. So he was doing 2 shows a week, and then WWE was like, well, we need content for this network we started. So then he signed a deal to do a video version of his podcast for the WWE network. And they did that for, I think, like 2 years. And then the deal ran out and it wasn't renewed. And then now he's doing another one called the Broken Skull Sessions.
Yeah.
That's his own. That's his own.
Did he see? Well, that's for the network as well. But
Well, and it's like I watched the A&E thing about him, and you know how he did try to do acting, but that just wasn't his thing because that's what everyone is doing now.
I mean, I would say his best role was in The Longest Yard.
This is how the white man play guitar. I fucking love that shit.
Hey, but how are you out of it now completely? Like no
Wrestling?
no more. Like not. I mean, not wrestling. Like you're not gonna ever try to do wrestling anymore. But like promoting, yeah.
No, not wrestling shows. We're still involved with Indie Handshake. We do documentaries and or show archive matches that we have because we have a lot of footage from,
Which you put a whole
local stuff.
documentary together on
We've
that.
done 3 now. Yeah, we did 3 documentaries and 1 a year, I believe. We did.
Yeah, we did the Modest one.
Michael
we did the
Modest.
one on Bay Area Wrestling
Bay
that we
Area
got to work
Wrestling.
with Jericho on, and then we did the Bison Smith.
Bison Smith one. So there's more coming. I'm just doing on my personal time, I guess, or my personal project. I'm doing another documentary out in February.
What is that about?
It's called Soul Searching. So my Soletos documentary, which was about record collectors, this is a continuation of that, but this one follows a group in the LA area. And this one I went to Japan to get footage of this collector who brought his soul record collection to Japan, and they were just loving it out there, man. Like they like the oldies out there. There's a subculture of Japanese people that are into that style of music.
And they're into. Is that the same ones that are in lowriders and like Chicano?
Yeah, they love the Chicano and the Mexican style, and
Or as Felipe said in our interview, that's like their version of being goth.
yeah. But yeah, I mean that's So I'll always be a part of it. I mean, I get hit up all the time by companies like, hey, can you recommend some guys, or women, like we want to do some shows, and yeah, I mean, talk to this person, that person. Yeah, I mean, I'll always be a part of it in some way.
But like, is it like right now? It seems like the internet, because you were doing this shit before internet was what it is now, right?
Right. Oh hell yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be easier to do it now? I'm not saying like if you wanted to do it, it'd be a lot easier now for you.
Like promoting?
Yeah.
Yeah, somewhat. I mean, there's just too much now. There's a lot of promotions in the Bay Area. When I was
There's actual Lucha productions now.
Oh yeah, there's a couple.
Oh, shit.
Not all of them are worth watching, but
Jesus Christ.
there's some good ones out there, man. I mean, he works with one Revolution. They're doing good shows. They do quality events.
Is that the ones that did the one in Richmond?
Yep.
Okay, that was good. That was a yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that, and fuck. What was the question? I forgot.
Would you still like?
Oh,
because like you got a bigger reach now. I mean, I would think.
I was approached recently about doing a show in a venue in Brentwood, but I don't know, man.
An Emporium.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they want to have
Okay.
They want to have it there, and because the guy that one of the owners of there, him and I used to do lucha and metal shows.
Oh.
But I don't know, man. I don't have the energy for it right now. There are other events that have to do with wrestling that I am working on, like a film festival of just like lucha libre and wrestling related
Documentaries
and movies. There's that one that I'm working on right now. But as far as actual shows,
Or you were just at a film festival in Salinas recently with one of my homies.
oh, Masa.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a screening. Yeah, they got it. It was at XL Public House.
Yeah. You ever done comedy there?
No. I'm
That's
gonna
a
hit
great
up,
room for comedy, bro.
Booth, right?
Michael Booth.
Yeah. I'm gonna hit him up.
Great room. Yeah.
But dude, I loved it. Like it was in the basement of the place.
That's and it gets. I've done it twice now. The last time I did it for Booth, it was packed out and it was just. I guess there's not a lot of. I mean, there's comedy there, but not like.
Right.
A lot, and everyone came out, man.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna definitely do that room. But yeah, no, they did a great job. There was two filmmakers, myself and another filmmaker. We showed some of our movies there, and they got a really good reaction. So yeah, it's a good town, man. Like it's growing. They're trying to do more art events.
Yeah. I mean, like it's like the thing with Salinas. I always feel like it's like they used to have a bad reputation, and now there's like a lot of artsy projects coming out of there.
Yeah,
there's Gordos, Flacos, all kinds of people coming out.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, we used to train in Salinas for lucha libre, bro.
Oh, for real?
Yeah. So it was a trip. Like I've always had some kind of connection to that.
To
town.
Salinas.
Yeah. It was so funny, man, because we shared the ring. Or we shared the gym with boxers, so we would be in the ring doing lucha libre, and then we'd watch the boxers, and they're fucking over there sparring and like really fast,
yeah,
all that shit, and then they'd stop and then they'd look at us, and then we'd look at each other like, oh shit, like these two, like you
like,
get this fucker, yeah. We're like, we can't, you're
taking fake hits, and they're taking
yeah. So we're like, oh shit, they're looking at us. Let's do some flips, dog. Yeah. But yeah, no, Salinas is growing, man. I did one comedy show there, but it wasn't for that venue. It was a different venue.
Oh shit, we got the light, dude. It's always a sad moment when we get the light.
I mean, you still got like 5 minutes. That's just a 5 minute.
All right. Cool. Well, before we go, you got anything you want to plug?
No, listen, you know what?
February?
Before we plug,
yeah.
Let's talk more about comedy right now that you say we got the light, because we both recently did the San Jose Improv, man.
Yeah.
Like their open mic. Was that the first time that you had to deal with like a clock? Like, is that the first time that you actually saw the fucking minutes go by as far as just getting lit?
No, the first time was for the Felipe show.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. They started from 1 minute, like whatever the second started counting off. And then I know I had I know how much time I had, so I just kind of was mindful of that.
Yeah.
But no, I did look at the light and I ended at 2 minutes and 57 seconds.
Oh, okay.
And Bryant at 2 minutes and 58 seconds.
Okay.
So we right on time.
Yeah.
That was weird though, because I kept looking at the numbers.
I was hoping it would count you down.
Oh.
Because counting up, and we were talking about one of the teachers that you guys had here. I'm terrible at math, dude.
Yeah.
So I was staring at this thing,
You have
and I'm like,
numbers dyslexia.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then I work for TV and production, so we always count down.
That's true.
Yeah, so it was counting up, and I'm like, oh shit, hold on, I gotta add. I know I have at 2 minutes I have a minute, but still.
And it's a trip because you can't really see it from on the side.
Yeah,
it's a weird. It's not weird in a bad way, but it's a good stage. But it was weird to like look at instead of getting that's what I'm used to. Fucking bar shows. And, your fucking phone when you're going over it turns into this.
Yeah, but it was just a trip, man. I ended right at 0, like right at 3, but it was weird because I was seeing that shit like, oh fuck, I'm counting up.
What day did you go? Were you
Wednesday?
Were you the most recent one where Mean Dave won?
Yeah.
Ah, damn.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I was on that one. And then what sucked about it?
How did it feel though?
It was fine. I mean, I was ready. I was pumped, man. I was ready to go as soon as they called me.
Yeah.
I was there with Lester, and Lester and I had been there last month, but we didn't get called up. But that's how it is.
Yeah.
Coming to find out, they didn't even register.
They didn't register your name.
Fuck whatever. So they registered me this time. I went up. And then I stayed for feedback, and then the club owner didn't see my set. He apologized, and I'm like, "Oh shit, okay, well, I'll be here next month."
He didn't see my set my day either.
Yeah.
It was weird, but then he did see it for the showcase. But I mean, shit, keep going.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
sure.
I got lucky, man, because that first day I went, I got to go up, and I ended up getting it. And I was like, fuck, all right. That was like,
Yeah.
whoever's up there, thank you. It and like Corday said, I guess now I'm past, and I had an opportunity to I just replied to the message late.
Oh damn.
I could have featured for Cypher. DJ Cypher.
Oh shit.
I mean, I don't know if fuck it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm hoping to get more opportunities and go, and I don't know. I think for me, I'm in a weird place right now where I kind of want to try to see if I can, like, that's the first time that's ever happened to me at a club.
Right.
Never been at any club.
past.
No. And I mean, I don't know if I'll lose weight, but I want to at least get past the clubs. Unhealthy comedian too. I'm keeping the comedian part. I'm sticking to that. Like that's,
Hey, why not both, fool?
Yeah, I know. Well, we'll talk about that some other time. But yeah, no.
No, we got another hour. You said
We got another hour, Phil.
we got to fill in another show. Let's just talk about.
That depends.
Hey, how do you feel, Phil? How you feeling, Phil?
Okay.
You all right?
I'm all right.
I'm just,
Okay.
Yeah.
You ready to? You give us a lie. You get it. I noticed something about Phil when you give us a light.
Two mics.
I don't know. I just was, when you give us a light and we're going over like way more than 10 minutes, I hear.
That's just because I'm fat. Like so,
okay.
Sometimes I'll just like mute the mic, so I'm not like
Dude, I caught
breathing into it.
I caught myself. I heard myself breathing earlier. I'm like,
Oh, I did too. That's why when you guys notice I yawn a lot.
Yeah.
Well, one, I'm tired. I'm also fat, and I have sleep apnea. So I'm like,
Well, my wife will be like, "Why are you huffing and puffing?" I'm like, "I just put on my socks."
I've been playing Grand Theft Auto Online with my kid. Like I got me. I'm not a gamer, so I just got this to play with him. And he's like, "Dad, I can hear you breathing." I'm like, "God damn."
I'm feeling it now more than ever. I think I'm bigger than I've ever been.
Oh, yeah.
Clothes are fitting tighter, and I'm sitting in a desk now,
And you need 3 microphones.
and I need 3
You look
microphones.
like you're giving a statement to the fucking press.
No, this is Christopher Walken in the Batman Returns when he's giving that speech right when
the penguin.
the penguin comes.
Why is there always someone who brings eggs and tomatoes to a speech?
Yeah. All right, you guys got anything you want to plug for 2024?
I'm gonna have a new Instagram. Follow my current Instagram for comedy type and personal shit. JX Cruz 510. But I have a new page that's coming out this week called El Filmero. That's the new production
shit.
name for documentaries. That's EL Film ERO.
All right.
I'll say I'm gonna pressure JD to finish that project he started last year, so that way I can start on my next thing. So hopefully that'll be out.
We'll get it done. There's some.
That's what you said last year.
That's what I did say last year. But you know what, dude? Be patient, all right? Sometimes things need time to breathe, and I think we need to change it up a lot.
Clearly.
I think. Did you see it?
Clearly.
I think I sent it to you to watch.
No, you did not.
Well, fuck it. Well, that.
You sent me a trailer.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right.
But let me see the.
You want to see the finished copy?
I'll watch it tonight.
Damn. Do you still have it so you can send it to him?
Didn't I send it to you on Drive?
Yeah, you did.
All right, I'll
Anyways,
check.
We'll talk about that later.
We'll talk
All
about
right.
it off air.
That's been the voice party.
Then we're
Yay.
out.
Anthony K is here.